When I watch discourse play out online, I often don't really know the answer to the debate, but I often have a lot of follow-up questions. And there've been like so many conversations recently that I've not been like, I know the answer, but I'm like, are we having the same debate? I'm having the same debate in my head about all these different topics. And I wanted to talk about that and how trying to get offline sometimes, spend less time on our phone, isn't just about telling off and discipline and shutting off and deleting our accounts. It's also about like trying to think critically about what we're sucked into, like where we are spending our time online and if it's productive. Like, can we consolidate these debates so we don't have to have them all separately? Or can we just skip some of them entirely? Very half-ass of me, I know, totally on brand. So the three different debates that I've been seeing around are the Nepobaby epidemic, as we're calling it, Ali Hazelwood, brilliant author, being driven off social media from bullying, and Sabrina, that is such a good bird. Look at this bird. Oh my God, oh, it's gone now. Blink and you miss it, it's because I was on my phone. Sabrina Carpenter's recent announcement of her album title and album cover, which will be released at the end of August, I believe. Now, I know what you're thinking. I think you're thinking, Lena, these topics are completely unrelated. You've spent far too much time online. Go and touch some grass. But in every single instance, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, one, the rate that we move when we're discussing something from the micro to the macro is wild, and I think we do it automatically, unquestioningly, and sometimes without warrant. Like, something very small has happened in the world. What does this mean for us collectively? Is this a symbol of huge systemic change to come, or huge collective regression? Probably. Is it? Sometimes not. Secondly, the very energy of the debates makes me think, are we causing ourselves what I heard Khadija, who is a great YouTuber, you should watch her, Khadija, call empathy fatigue, where because we treat every debate and every instance as huge and urgent and headline worthy, people get tired of hearing about all the ways that they might be wrong, or all the ways they need to change, or all the ways society needs to change. And it means that when something genuinely monumental comes up, something genuinely scary, people have already tapped out. They're already not in those spaces, or not ready to listen, or have already thrown down their ears and are like, I can't do it anymore. And three is dead internet theory. Have you heard about dead internet theory? My God, it's been occupying a lot of my brain. So dead internet theory is this idea that there are so many bots on the internet, and now with the rise of AI, so much artificially generated content, that one day, some say soon, some say later, there just won't be any humans on the internet, or there'll be very few humans on the internet. The humans will have left the internet because they get drowned out, or it's no longer financially viable to create content on the internet because the bots are doing it better and faster, and they're able to pay for loads of engagement. And so the internet just becomes this dead space where the robots are talking to each other, they're debating with each other, and we no longer have any business there. I do get a lot of bots arguing in my comment section already, so while it seems far-fetched, I do wonder sometimes when these debates happen, or when there's loads and loads of viral videos about this one controversial topic and everything has this many views, I have to look at it and go, did a human make that short? Or are those humans that are thumbs upping or hearting these horrific comments that are really degrading? When someone does something on the internet that makes me think, God, this is really making me lose my faith in humanity, I have to stop for a second and be like, was that humanity? Are we sure it was a human? Because if the people that are making us lose faith in humanity aren't even human, I can't even handle the irony. I've been thinking a lot about how where we choose to spend our attention is probably as important as our opinion on any given topic. Choosing what to even debate is an opinion in itself. As examples, here are the reasons why I don't think the three debates that I talked about at the beginning of this video are actually worth my time. Firstly, the moral panic that Sabrina Carpenter is regressing feminism with a album cover like this. I actually just cannot deal with how obviously satirical this is, not only contextually but just on the surface level. I saw a great article on Substack about this that I think was titled "Open the Schools," and how people getting upset about this is a symptom of the literalism epidemic, so I'll link that below. Secondly, Ali Hazelwood getting pushed off social media and bullied because in an interview she said that she was Team Gale. I kid you not. I kid you not. Yeah, from the fictional character from the Hunger Games. She said that Peter was a little bit useless, which, I mean, you can go back and watch my read along of the whole Hunger Games series if you'd like, but my friend Zubs said this really well. She actually wrote this down because I thought it was so well said. The same people who literally pushed Ali Hazelwood to delete her account because she chose Gail over Peter need to bring that same energy and vitriol to their politicians in the wake of genocide and people losing their human rights. Why add to a statement that is already perfect? The Nepo baby thing is more complicated, and I've actually scripted and filmed 2 videos on this topic that never made it to this channel because I still don't feel like I completely got into the weeds of what I genuinely think about this, which is a lot of different contradictory things, but essentially I think the bare bones of why I don't feel like it's a really productive debate like on its own is that there is a tension between if it's working class it's called a trade and if it's upper class it's oligarchy. And I don't actually think the point of this debate, or I don't think what is genuinely the problem, is that people are related who do well and they help each other do it. I think what we actually are afraid of is monarchy. And I wish we could just talk about that instead of getting bogged down in individually critiquing these people that we've never met and like decide whether they deserve what they have or not. I think we really need to focus our energy at this late stage of capitalism is not like who is getting the slots, but why the hell there are so few slots. Like, that is silly. The amount of opportunities and the way that the entertainment industry, for example, is set up is completely self-designed and totally fixable, totally changeable. I would potentially, if I was to give any energy to this topic, would like to debate how we can make it economically viable to have a full-time musician in my town who just serves my town and performs in my town. We have full-time jacket potato makers, we have full-time supermarket staff and librarians and council workers. Surely there's a need for local music and somebody could earn like a normal wage from just doing it locally. The same with like theatre. The fact that there are so few jobs in the arts is like completely deliberate, and basically if you want to be in any way ambitious with your art you have to be like globally recognizable which is so silly. I've talked about Oliver Burkeman's work before on this channel, but I love his book 4,000 Weeks, where he talks about how we only have 4,000 weeks on earth and we have to choose what to do with them intentionally, otherwise they'll spend themselves on things we don't want to spend them on. And it makes me think, like, how many hours do I have left on social media and how good do I think I am at using it at this point, and where am I going to spend those hours on social media if I am going to spend some hours on social media? You know what I mean? Social media is very new, and I don't think that we, relatively speaking, to like, I'm obviously I know it's been around for a while because I've been here doing it, but relatively speaking in the history of humanity, relatively new, and we have to ask ourselves, are we actually spending time honing skills, like how we weight different topics, how platforms weight different topics, how to actually connect with each other and not exhaust each other? Like, we're still in the very early stages. Imagine if we just like lumped it and stuck with quills and parchment and never bothered to invent the typewriter. Now, Lena, that is enough moaning, I hear you say. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Wait, what am I going to do about it? I can hear you through the screen. Well, I've got 3 things I'd like to do about it. I tried to do this already, but to reiterate my intention, I would love that every time I share something on social media about a serious topic, that I also make a rule with myself, a little pact, that I try and do something else, something that has, well, I do think that social media can have a real world impact, but like a real world impact in the traditional sense. So like writing to my MP about that topic, donating to a cause that's genuinely trying to solve it, talking to somebody in my real life about it, even if I admit that I don't know what, like, I don't really know that much about it and I'd like to know more. And by slowing down the rate at which I share things online about these inflammatory topics, I have to stop and think before I do it. Like, is this something I genuinely want to draw people's attention to, or am I wasting all of our time? Secondly, when I see other people discussing topics online, not nitpicking small things they've said, or like going straight into criticism mode and like ignoring their general points and being like, you said that word wrong, you said that, you pointed out that fact was slightly incorrect. Those things are important to do, I guess, but also it's good to think about how we are creating fatigue in others. Sometimes I can hear a conversation by somebody I've never met and I just want to add that to my thought bank and go, oh, that's interesting. I don't really agree with that, but it's good to know that somebody thinks that way. I wonder if I overhear something similar, I can add those 2 points together and try and make more sense of this. I want to master the art of the French exit online, the Irish goodbye, just like unfollow or don't engage and try and focus on something I do want to focus on. And number 3, be aware that the people that I might be interacting with or seeing interact with others online might not actually be real people. I don't wish to believe it, but that doesn't stop it being potentially true. In fact, I can kind of use this to my advantage, because if I see somebody being deliberately obtuse, like spitefully reductive to the point of like, you must know what you're doing, I can just believe that they're a bot for my own peace of mind. And I do that frequently. Sometimes when people say really rude stuff on the internet and I'm like, the robots are at it again. Anyway, let me know what you think about this topic. Are we seeing the death of perspective? And how do you find yours in this strange little world? Thank you to the Gumption Club who make these videos possible and hang out with me all the days of the week in our Discord, chatting about life and all sorts, debating the serious and the silly, and in particular trying to sort out what is silly from what is genuinely serious and needs our attention. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you might like another one of my forest rants. I do a lot of them. I quite like this forest and I quite like moaning. Thanks for watching. Frogs Knock out.